From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and it's time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Happy Friday to the world, and it is the first day of December, the last month of the year. So you know it's going to be chaotic this month. A lot of things are going to be, pretty much, very unpredictable and things like that. So love on your family as much as you can because you never know how it goes during the wintertime. So it is what it is, man. And pretty much let's go ahead and jump into these mid-major title games. We got one tonight. We got 4 tomorrow. So we have a really good card, a really good group. We got some great tickets and everything. Everything is all about the matchups and everything that we have going on for tonight and for tomorrow. So you guys make sure that, you get yourself ready, write down your notes, put it in your notepad on your phone if you need to, and let's go ahead and win this money. So let's first and foremost get into the AAC title game, which is going to probably be the best game out of all these mid-major groups. And pretty much we have this being the AAC title game, SMU 10-2, Tulane 11-1, the -3, the over/under 46.5. And pretty much when this game goes down, this is going to be Tulane's toughest game of the season. SMU has been, chomping at the bit for years to actually hold up that AAC title, and they would love to leave with something, because they are headed to the ACC with both Stanford and California as well, Cal as well too. So, this is their last stand last year in the AAC, and they would love to go ahead and actually be able to say, hey, we won one of these titles sticking around here in the AAC. So pretty much SMU, I just like the way that their passing game sets up, and it's going to give them a lot of problems tomorrow from what I'm seeing here. But I still think Tulane is just way better because they just have been a little bit more battle tested. They beat USC last year in a bowl game. Their coach is just improving on to the situation. And, SMU is going to be tough, man. This team is really evolved this year. They wound up winning their last 8 games of the year after starting the season off 2-2. So they have a lot of things in their favor that makes this team, go and really feel like they can be those guys. So pretty much with that, Tulane, I feel like this is the game right here. They're the number 22 team in the nation right now as well. This is a huge game to possibly get them into New Year's Eve Bowl as well. They've actually wound up winning their last 10 in a row after losing the second week of the season to Ole Miss. So, this team is very battle tested. They haven't had really any close games except for the Tulsa game and the East Carolina game, but that's because they overlooked their opponents. And pretty much, this is why they feel like a very comfortable favorite in this game as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mark down the -160 to Tulane. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and then we move forward from there. All right, so up next we have ourselves the Conference USA title game. The Conference USA title game is going to feature New Mexico State and number 24 Liberty, who's 12-0. New Mexico State's coming off one of their best wins ever by beating Auburn, on the road as well too. They were able to beat Auburn and kind of dominate Auburn as well. So that's going to be a confidence boost for this team going into this game alone, pretty much. And you do still have a Liberty team that's absolutely has not been challenged this year at all. This team has really sheeted their record. They've actually just played great football all year long. They had a few moments where things got a little tough. But we know Liberty to be a team that can drop the ball very quickly in a game as well, too. So can you trust them? That's the biggest question. I say no, because they're going to be an overbet here by a lot of bettors. They're going to have to show us that they can win by 2 touchdowns or better in the biggest game of the season for them moving forward. And you know what? New Mexico State, they're feeling good, feeling great about being in a brand new conference. Same thing goes with Liberty somewhat as well, too. But New Mexico State has now finally somewhat arrived, because they were sitting in as an independent for years. And, you know, they were okay. They were cool. You know, they had their little rivalry game with New Mexico every year. But they actually have ascended above New Mexico now. And that's crazy to even say. So pretty much tonight, I feel like what happens in this spot tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take New Mexico State, the Aggies, to go ahead and cover that plus 10.5. I know it's a real tough spot, but I do like the way New Mexico State is trending in this game. Liberty is a team that has not been really challenged yet. And when you're a team that hasn't been challenged yet, these games are always tough to win. So I'm going to have to take the plus 10.5. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And we move forward from there. All right. So we have ourselves up next, the MAC title game, which is going to be in Detroit tomorrow. Miami of Ohio, 10-2. You have Toledo, 11-1. Toledo is a 7.5 point favorite. And then you have an over-under of 44 as well, too. So pretty much with this game, you have a rematch from a few weeks ago. Toledo did beat Miami as well. You know, that was a real tough game for Miami, but Miami has persevered all throughout the season. They've always looked like the team that could win the title game as well, too. And I'd had them marked as the winners of the title game this year as well, too. So this should be a really, really fun game between these two teams at the when it's all said and done. Now, I didn't put this a part of my pick 5, but I did go ahead and make sure I previewed the game for you guys as well, because we got mixed up games and things like that. But it won't be a part of my super high 5. But what I like here is I like Miami of Ohio straight up, man. Give me the plus 240 bet. It should be pretty fun. And you know what? Tomorrow I'll go ahead and I'll feature a dog day pick for you guys as well, too. So hopefully we can get home one of these fun bets. So I'm looking at the situation. I think the better passer is on Miami of Ohio side, and I think the better receiver is on Miami of Ohio side. Now, the better running game is with Toledo, and running game is very important in the MAC. But if that gets shut down and you have to make it a real game, then I like the way Miami of Ohio sets up here. Miami of Ohio is a tougher team than them as well, too. So there's just a lot of fun things that we can get ourselves excited about for this game. But all in all, I'm going to go ahead and shoot my shot with the plus 240 on Miami. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves our next coming up, which is going to be the Mountain West title game. Mountain West title game is probably the best game on the slate. Definitely one of these teams are going to be going to a big bowl, possibly I don't know if they participate the Vegas Bowl, but I think now the LA Bowl has taken over for the old Vegas Bowl, because the old Vegas Bowl used to feature a Mountain West team and a Pac-12 team. Now the LA Bowl is taking over that situation, but it won't be for long. They'll figure out a way to throw in, say, a Big 10 team and maybe possibly a Big 12 team. You know what I mean? It's going to be crazy that we may have bowl games between the Pac-12 in the coming years as well, too. And that's more than likely within the next 3 years as well, too. So, you know, Mountain West, you got a UNLV team that hasn't been good forever. You have a Boise State team that kind of bounced back this season. I picked Fresno State to win this conference, and Air Force for them to play Air Force for the championship. But you know what? Both those teams got upended here in the final weeks, and UNLV stayed strong. They had some really good wins. And you know what? The best game that they had this year was them playing against Michigan. They were about to get shut out, and then they went ahead and scored a late touchdown. And I told myself that day, I said, this team is not bad. This team is actually trying. This team wants to be better. They want to be great here. And they have all the resources now to put them in place to be a great team. You know, you got the right stadium, you got the right mentality, and you're in the city that really will support you if you are a very good team. So you know what? UNLV was able to finally get everything working at the same time, at the right time, and they've got themselves a 9-3 record. They haven't been talked about enough. They're a great team. They're a fun situation. And I think a lot of people will be very surprised on what they see tomorrow with this team and how dominant this team can be if they make everything, pretty much be in the right direction, the right situation for them. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see how it shakes out. But with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to circle the UNLV Running Rebels for the plus 120 to go ahead and win their first Mountain West title. So we'll move forward with that. And we have ourselves the Sun Belt game, and the Sun Belt title game is going to be between App State and Troy. Both these teams, they really slugged it out here at the end of the year, especially Appalachian State. They got the monster win over James Madison, who seemed like a juggernaut in the Sun Belt this year, and they were upended in that game. But I think James Madison might be a team that could be headed to a bigger conference as somewhere down the road. They got great basketball and great football. They are not long for this group. So pretty much that's good that they get it in now with these wins and everything like that. But Troy is a team that you always have to take very seriously. They always have NFL guys on that side of the ball as well, too. Appalachian State is a great team, that they play. If they can all play as one, they usually are very hard to beat. But, if they slack, have turnovers, mess up a bit, it's always a game that can slip away from them. But I truly do feel that when it comes down to this, Troy should be pretty much your pick here. I think Troy is going to be absolutely focused, laser focused to be exact for this game, and they wind up winning this game. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it shakes out, but I do like Troy in this spot with the -5. They're not going on my super high 5 either, but I'll make sure to have things around for you. You know what I mean? So pretty much with that, that's going to be the wrap up on the this is going to be a wrap on the major title games. And pretty much we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When I get back, we are going to be talking the Lakers, and we're going to be talking these NBA games for tonight as well too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, here we are. We're back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, and pretty much close the fucking door. All right, so pretty much we are back, and we have the LeBron state of the Lakers. LeBron and crew lose by 20 points last night. This is starting to become an absolutely annoying situation with the Lakers and them not being able to actually do exactly what they're supposed to do as a team. You know that you really want these guys to play as best as they can when it comes down to the nitty gritty of things. And pretty much this is going to be a very, this is going to be a transition type of month. This is not a month you should expect the Lakers to be like the top tier team in the NBA. They are dealing with a lot of injuries. And when you're dealing with a lot of injuries, it's really tough to really get a cohesion because these guys that they're playing are not a part of the true rotation. They're just guys that you have that are in place for when people get injured. They need to be a little bit more assertive. They need to play better basketball. There's a lot of things that AD and LeBron do, and then the rest of them just watch and spectate. This has to stop. Really, it does. Like, if you want to play on the Lakers, you got to participate. You can't spectate. And that's always been the motto with the Lakers. But when you have a dominating personality like LeBron James, it's really tough to play with that. You know what I mean? Because there's standards that people want to be on. There's all this other stuff. He's always kind of holding up the process of other guys trying to progress themselves as better players in the league by always trying to teach and coach people. And he just needs to really worry about himself. I know he's trying to lead and do all this other stuff, but really at the end of the day, it's always about him. And that's what the biggest problem is with the Lakers and LeBron James. This has never been a good fit. Like, literally, I don't care what anybody says. It's just has not been a good fit. But right now, this is where we're at. This is what we're dealing with. And LeBron, he's playing great basketball for a guy who's 39 years old, all that good stuff, 38, whatever, blase. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, but he's doing too damn much. He needs to let the others really go in there and go play some basketball and be better players and not feel like every time they mess up, they may get traded if he don't feel like having you on the team anymore. That's an absolutely narcissistic mentality that is destroying the Lakers franchise from within. I don't care what anybody says. I know what's happening with the Lakers right now. You don't. You just want to everybody wants to just sit up in here and be in love with LeBron. LeBron is very, very statesman-like, and he's at the brink and at the point right now to where you have to really understand that he's trying to make sure he looks as good as he can as he ages into the NBA. And I think that the Lakers, they have this idea that the guy is still, 34 or 35 years old. And it's not like that. This dude can break down at any moment of the season, and they got to stop being so codependent on him. That's what the biggest thing is with the Lakers at this point. And, pretty much AD has to be a more confident player. Even though he had a great night last night, he did well. He did very well. He has to be a more confident player, and he has to take over as the Lakers leader. That's exactly what he needs to do. So there's just a lot of things that the Lakers need to clean up. It doesn't take much to do it. The Lakers just got to stop, spectating and doing more participating. That's what the biggest problem is. And I just really feel like they don't play good enough defense to the point to where they really care about being on the team. And when you don't play good defense, it just, you don't want to be here. That's how I feel. Because when you want to win games, you're going to do everything it takes to win the game. They've been playing basketball since they were kids. They know how to win games. And, this lazy ass plan that the Lakers been doing on a daily basis, with some of these teams, it's just absolutely dreadful. They went 2-2 on the road trip, and they got blown out in both of the losses. Like, the games weren't even close, and that's just absolutely embarrassing. Like, you have to have some pride to yourself at some point. And that's where I feel like the Lakers have really dropped the ball this year. They keep needing motivation. This is last year all over again. But you have a little bit of a better record. So the Lakers got to really buckle down and get better. It's just that simple. And they got to make sure that they start being more assertive and more mindful on defense. Stop letting guys shoot open threes. Literally, that's like the whole way of the league now. So stop letting that shot go so much. Please put a hand in somebody's face or stop resting in the zone. And dude, for the 50th million time, crash the boards. Get yourself a rebound. Be a participant. Don't be a spectator. You know, I'm telling you, the Lakers got to get it together, or it's going to be another year of why didn't we win the championship? We don't have enough. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So the Lakers at this point right now, it's the start of December. I'm not asking the Lakers to go out there and go 15-0 this month, but play better defense. You know, I understand winning and losing, but don't get embarrassed. I think the Lakers in these last two, they got embarrassed enough to the point to where, okay, now we know we got to play some damn ball and look good doing it. So it is what it is, and we move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our first NBA game. 76ers at the Celtics. 76ers coming in here 12-6. Celtics are 14-4. And this game should be a good one. You have them meeting for the third time already this year. So I have a very, very, very good look at what should be going down tonight in this game. But all in all, I truly do think that this game is more about the cover. You know what I mean? You know, the cover looks like it's going to be for the Celtics tonight, but the 76ers are going to play. I know Embiid's going to be out with his illness, but see, these are the games where the teams sneak up on you. So you have to be ready for whatever. And I'm looking at the way that the Sixers finished up November. It's a team that won their first 6 in a row, but then they lost 5 out of 9 to close up the month. So, you know, they were they were alternating multiple losses to multiple wins the last month, the last half portion of the season, but the first 6 games they went 6-0. So this team still has a lot of continuity to it, and I think that it should carry over into tonight's game. Now, you do have a Boston team that was cooking all month. They wound up losing 4 games last month, but they were good. They had a 6-game winning streak last month as well, too. And they also were able to finish up on the winning side at the end of the month. So they went 11-5 to finish up the month. So when I look at this game, I'm going to take the scoreboard, and it's going to be the under 224.5 to the 76ers tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right. So we have ourselves the Grizzlies and the Mavericks. The Grizzlies coming to this game 4-13. The Mavericks are 11-6, and you have a 6.5 point spread over under 225.5. The Grizzlies are a few games away from Ja Morant being back, about 8 games away from Ja Morant being back. That should be about another 2 weeks, so he should be back at some point this month. So pretty much that should be a lot of fun. I don't think they're going to bring him right back on his 25-game sabbatical because he hasn't really been able to practice with them. He'll probably have to wait a few games after that. So I would expect him to be around for the Christmas game if they are able to, if they do have one. Let me double check and see if they do. They actually don't have a Christmas game, but they do play the day after Christmas. So that should be huge. And we know that it's going to be a big moment when he plays on New Year's Eve as well, too, against Sacramento. So Memphis struggling, you know, they've lost their last 4 out of 5 games as well too, so they're kind of leaking oil coming into this month. But you know what, as they always like to say, help is on the way, and that's where Memphis is at this point. It's just hold the line. That's all they can do at this point. You know, Dallas had kind of a back and forth month last month. They wound up, this is where they got every loss that they've had this season at for this month, but they wound up going 8-6 to be exact. So this team is just going through the motions, trying to make sure that they have everything intact in place. They are set up for a great Christmas game against the Phoenix Suns as well too. And then, you know, they don't play on New Year's Eve, but they do play on the 30th against Golden State. So, you know, I'm just looking at these games for the high value mark and things like that. And I just pretty much feel like when it comes down to this spot right here, this game is going to be a very, very, very back and forth firefight, in my opinion. I think that what we get here, we're going to get to over 224 and a half. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves the Raptors and the Knicks. The Raptors and the Knicks. This looks like to be a fun game right here. You got a Knicks team coming in here 11-7. You have a Raptors team 9-10. You got a 2.5 point spread to the Raptors over under 216.5. When you look at the way that this game is set up, you look at a very, very fun situation between both these teams. They are both Atlantic Division teams as well. You have a Knicks team coming in here as the dog in Toronto tonight. You have a Raptors team won their last 3 out of 5. Knicks won their last 3 out of 5. So they're matching up pretty good tonight in this game. The Knicks actually finished up the month pretty good. They wound up getting their last 6 out of 8 after starting the month 3-3. So, they're trying to keep building and keep moving themselves towards a possible chance at winning the Atlantic Division. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but you know what? It is what it is. The Knicks feel like they need more. They need to be noticed a bit more. So we're at that point right now with them. So pretty much this should be a very, very good, fun game. And this should be there's a lot to be desired here. And it's always fun with the Knicks and the Raptors because, it brings out a lot of the New Yorkers that stay in Toronto at this point in life. So that should be a good game, a fun game. So pretty much with that, I'm going to go ahead and do this with it. I'm actually going to take the Raptors to get the cover here with the 2.5. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But as I said before, you got two teams that have won their last 3 out of 5 games. They're trying to set up some momentum moving forward. Both these teams are thinking about the playoffs as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I do like the Raptors tonight with the -2.5. Hopefully they get that bad boy home for us. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Spurs and the Pelicans. And I'm just going to go ahead and off the top, Wemby will not be a part of this game tonight. Wemby is going to be out with hip tightness. Wemby is 3 and they're 3-15. And you guys know that this team has actually lost their last 14 games in a row. So it's just been it's been a headache for the Spurs for the month of November. You know what I mean? They're going through some real growing pains. And, Wemby's just being asserted into the league. It's just sucks, though, to see that he's getting all this hype, but he can't get his team any wins. And I know that they feel like, okay, he's not getting the ball enough. And then I say to myself, he's getting the ball too much because the thing is that he's not really trying to go get rebounds or anything like that. They kind of just fall in his hands. And he's always parking at the 3-point line on a break or something of that nature. It seems like he's not very dedicated to the box. And that's very much the biggest reason why this team keeps losing games, because he's a selfish player. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but you'll get it eventually. You know what I mean? Because guys are not supposed to do that much. That's the whole thing. You're a rookie. Why are you shooting the ball 16 times, more than 20 times a game, and you're not a 3-point shooter? Your 3-point shooting percentage just keeps going down by the game. What are we doing here? That's the biggest question that I have for that's the biggest question that I have for this team. What are we doing here? That's straight up. You know what I mean? It's starting to get a little annoying about, babysitting this guy. And you guys know that he's up in here really not playing anywhere near his potential. So, it's just stupid, so I'm glad that, the Spurs can go ahead and play a game without him real quick to see exactly where they stand as a team. You know what I mean? And then maybe he can see that he has to participate and be less trying to be a star and trying to be a diva and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? You have not made it yet. It doesn't matter that you're 7 feet tall. So pretty much with that, I feel like the Spurs, all in all tonight, I'm going to give them a chance here because the Pelicans, to me, they are still a team that's trying to figure it out. They're trying kind of like a trade away from making it really, really work for themselves. But they did finish the month pretty well. They wound up finishing. They actually wound up winning their last 4 out of 6. And to be exact, they actually wound up winning their last 6 out of 9, 6 out of their last 6 out of 9 games as well too. So that was really good for this team who had a 5-game losing streak this month. So they were able to work these things out. So pretty much with that, we have ourselves a very, very, very good game tonight. And I feel like the Pelicans are going to overlook the Spurs a bit. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and take the Spurs with the plus 13.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves the final game of the night, which is going to be the Suns and the Nuggets. And the Suns and the Nuggets, this one should be a fun one because you have a Suns team that's very adamant about, being those boys doing their thing, because they got a new squad and they got an owner that's very confident in them. They got the Nuggets who are 13-6. You got the Suns who are 11-7. You got a plus 3.5 and over under 223.5 as well too. So this is just a very, very this is the game of the night. Let's keep it real. It's going to be on ESPN. It's going to be late. It's going to be in the desert, and a lot of people are going to be very excited about what this game brings because this is a possible playoff matchup as well too. Last year Phoenix lost 4-2 to this squad, so there's the revenge tactic there as well too. So Kevin Durant's coming along. He's trying to get these guys to understand that he's the dude, and all they need to do is just do their role, and he can go ahead and he can do the rest. So with that, we have ourselves a very good matchup tonight here. The Nuggets, they're going through the injury bug right now, but Jamal Murray's close to coming back. But they did finish the month on a high note. They wound up finishing with the month 3 in a row after losing 5 out of 7. So, this team really bounced back very well and found themselves actually finishing up the month 9-6. So that's pretty good. That's really good. So pretty much when it comes down to this game and the way that I see it, I see the Suns actually having themselves a nice Friday night win for their crowd. So I'm taking a plus 125 on the Suns. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and actually take our first commercial break, and when I get back, we're going to jump into Talking Tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back, and we are here at the stretch drive of the show. And pretty much it's time to talk those tickets. So up first, we have ourselves a pretty good group here with our CBB PrimeTime PK6. We got Xavier plus 8.5 at home. We also have Bryant plus 180 in a 50-50 game. Indiana minus 160 in a Big Ten conference game tonight against Rutgers. We have the plus 5.5 with West Virginia tonight as well too. That should be a good play. That's a strong game against St. John's, who's actually favored in Morgantown. I don't know where that's coming from. And then we have the 3.5 to Kansas as well, too. They are going to be hosting UConn tonight. That's going to be the battle of the weekend as well, too, number 4 versus number 5. And then we do have St. Mary's number 4 with the nightcap against Boise State. So that's a 61-1 ticket. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's going to be our CBB PrimeTime PK6. And then we have the championship bets for tonight. We have New Mexico State, Liberty bets, plus 10.5 New Mexico State, the plus 7 to New Mexico State as well, too. First half, minus 120. We also have the over 11.5 minus 120 first quarter. Then we also have the plus 8.5 New Mexico State plus 110. And this is going to be an alternate line. So alternate line gets us plus 110. So we got to lose by a touchdown or less. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on the bets for the Conference USA championship game. We have the bets for the Pac-12 championship game. I got Oregon with the minus 9.5. We also have the under 33 with plus 100 first half. We also have Washington plus 150 first quarter. And then we also have Washington, the under 27.5 team total. So this is going to be a pretty fun bet here. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we have ourselves the plus 15.5 on Oklahoma State, the UNLV money line plus 120, the under 55.5 Georgia Bama, Tulane minus 160, and then we wrap it up with the over 45.5 Louisville at Florida State, and this is going to give us a 24-1 ticket. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up with the NBA Super High 5 at 30-1. We got the over 224.5 with the Grizzlies and the Mavs. We got the 2.5 with the Raptors. Then we have the under 224.5 with the 76ers and Celtics. Then I'm being a little risque with the Wemby-less Spurs team with the plus 13.5. And then we have the Suns plus 125 money line. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And that's going to be a wrap on Talkin Tickets and a wrap on today and today's show. And, you know, it's been a great week. We haven't missed one day this week. We've been able to get some good plays out, get some bad plays out, have some good opinions and things like that. You know, a lot of people were very interested in the quarterback inventory segment that I had as well, too. So you guys make sure to check that out. That is on the Prime Wave Media page as well, too. It's still fresh, so you can go there and see it right away. So with that, I thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. If you watched me live, awesome. If you watch me after, awesome. Just got to watch me. That's all I ask for. And then when you do watch, make sure you retweet the show. Make sure you share the show. Make sure you do what you got to do. We got to get these numbers up. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on the PrimeTime Angles, the premier sports betting show for this week. And, man, it's a new month, new money. So let's get it. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.